Welcome to this demonstration of the Concrete5 content management system. I'm Jamie Johnson with Pixel Web Design Strategy. We're going to show you today how to use the Concrete site that we're working on for a new client here. We're going to go to the login page. Here we'll simply type in our username and password. This checkbox, which is to stay signed in for 2 weeks. Basically, the next time you come back to Concrete5, when you check that box, you'll still have the editing toolbar that we'll show you in just 1 second. And the next time you come back to the website on that particular computer within 2 weeks, you'll still be logged into Concrete5 and you wouldn't have to log it right back in. So I'm going to click the login button here. This is initially going to take us to a little dashboard page, and now we're going to return to the website. Once we're here, you'll see we now have a little editing toolbar up at the top of the page that wasn't on the website before. And with this editing toolbar, we can add content to pages, we can edit content, and we can also create new pages really quickly and easy. The great thing about Concrete5 is it's almost like using an iPhone or an Android device the first time you use it. Once you understand the basics, it's very easy to do everything. And really, there's just a few things you have to learn to be able to add content and edit content on pages. But you really don't need a big, thick manual or anything to learn and understand Concrete5, because basically, you just go to the page that you want to edit. So for example, if we want to go to the About Us page here, we simply just go to that. If there's changes we'd like to make on this page, we then just click the Edit Mode button, which has the little pencil icon. And you'll see our button here turns green. And now as we mouse over any of the editable pieces of this page, you'll see a little green box appears. These boxes are referred to as blocks in Concrete5, and with blocks we can add content and edit content, and we can actually add different types of functionality that we'll show you in just a bit. So as you see, as I mouse over this particular block, I get the little green outline. I can simply click my mouse button and you'll see a series of different options appear. If I click edit block, a little editing toolbar is going to appear. And with that, I can now edit the content in this block the same way I do it in Microsoft Word or similar programs. So I can come down here, add some content, and just like I would Microsoft Word, I can highlight things, add bold, add italics, add underline to that content really quickly and easily. I can also do things like add images, create links. So let's say for coffee shop, let's say I wanted to add a link to the restaurant page. For that, I'd simply come up here to the little link icon, click that, and at this point I can create a link to other websites, or I can create links to pages that are on the existing website. So let's say I wanted to add a link to Google. I can simply just type google.com, click OK, and voila, I've created that text as a link. Let's say I wanted to create this as a link to a page that's on my website. So super easy to do in Concrete5. I can click the sitemap button. Here a little map of all the pages that are on this website are going to appear. So here's a listing of all the different pages. And let's say I wanted to create a link to the restaurant page. I just simply click it, click OK, and voila, I've created a link. So adding links, really easy to do. The nice thing about that sitemap link when I was creating a link to the restaurant page is that it's almost a smart linking tool. So with Concrete5, it doesn't really care if a page name gets changed. It doesn't really care if a page URL gets changed. It knows that I'm supposed to link to that page as long as that page exists. So you can really easily create links to pages, and if you modify any of those links down the road, you're not going to break links across the website, because it knows I'm going to link to this page as long as it exists. Adding images in Concrete5, very, very easy. So I'm going to click here. I'm going to click on this little icon. It looks like a mountain with the sun. And at this point, I'm going to browse the server. And what opens up here is what's called the file manager. And the file manager you can think as just a centralized repository for any images, MP3 files, PDF files. Basically, anything a user would either view or download on the website gets added to the file manager. And then once it's in the file manager, you can add it anywhere you'd like on the website. So in this case, I'm going to add a picture of the owners here. So it gives us a little demo here. If I want, I can add a border around that image. So you'll see I added a little 1 pixel border. Yeah. Let's say I wanted to add a little horizontal space. So the text would wrap right up against the edge of this photo. And in this case, I don't want to do that. So I'm going to give it 4 pixels of horizontal space. And that gives us a little buffer. And now I can set the alignment for this image. I'm going to say align right and click OK. And now you'll see it's added a nice photo of the owners to this page. Really easy to do. Now, one thing is when you're adding images to a page, you need to know what size you want that image to be, because Concrete5 doesn't know if this image is a little tiny Facebook icon or if it's a great big slider image. And so you need to resize your images before you upload them to the file manager. Or once they're in the file manager, if you click on that image and choose edit, you can actually resize and crop those images to be placed on the page. So you see right now we've added some different content to this page. At this point, we're the only ones in the world that can see it. And the reason for that is we haven't saved these changes and we haven't published them. So what I'm going to do right now is click Save. Now, even at this point, we've got these changes added to the page, but again, it's not published, and so the world can't see it. So once I've made all the changes that I need to a page, I simply come back up here, click the Exit Edit Mode button, and you'll see a series of options come up. So I can either publish changes, save changes, or discard changes. If I click Publish Changes, which 90% of the time is what you're going to want to do, what's going to happen is it's going to make all those changes live. It also is going to save a version. Now I'll go over this in just a second of the way the page looked previous to me publishing those changes. You can also set a time that you want to have the page published by clicking this button. If I made a bunch of changes and I realized, oh, I didn't really want to do that, I can click Discard Changes, and that's going to revert the page back exactly to the way it was before I made the changes. In this case, I'm going to click Publish Changes. So at this point, now we've got our changes nicely applied to the page. Now, as I mentioned before, we can actually revert pages back to the way they were before, and I can do that by clicking that page settings button, coming down here to versions, and here what appears is a list of all the different times this page has been published. So it's actually saved all those published pages every single time I've hit the publish button. Now what I can do with this is if I at any point made a bunch of changes to the website, let's say I added a bunch of content, I deleted a bunch of things, I published it, I looked at it, I thought, oh my gosh, what have I done? I can literally reverse the page back to the way it looked on 8/28 at 1:37 p.m. And you simply do that by just clicking on it, click approve, and then you would delete the version that's in front of it. Voila, the page is going to go back to the way it was before. In this case, I don't want to do that. Now you'll notice that in Concrete5, we've got some text here that's large page title text called a header 1 or a heading 1. And then we've got regular paragraph, normal text. And in Concrete5, what we do is we build a style sheet, and that's built right into the theme. And with that, as you create pages, you can go in and add different elements to different pages and keep it consistent using the style sheet that's built into the website. So I'm going to come back in here in edit mode, click on this content block again, and our little editing toolbar appears. Now, one nice thing about the later or newer versions of Concrete5 is it's got true in-page content editing. So I actually see, as I type things, the styling applied right to the page as well as the layout. So I don't really have to guess. With the earlier versions of Concrete5 and other content management systems, it doesn't necessarily look the way in the editor as it does on the page, but I'm actually typing right into the page here, so we'll see things as they look real time. So let's say I wanted to add some additional text down here. So down at the bottom of the page, I'm going to create a section called Contact Us. Now you'll see it's regular normal text as it shows here. If I highlight this and then I click on heading 1, you'll see it gives that big bold text like it is at the top of the page. So that's our page title. Typically, heading 1 is what is the text that's used at the top of the page. Or I can set this to other sizes. Header 2, which you see is a little bit smaller, and then header 3, which is more like our far cutter room text. So below this, I can add additional text. Give us a call anytime. And voila, I've just added some additional content to this page. Quick and easy. I'm going to save this. Now, one concept that Concrete5 has that's really cool is that blocks can be different blocks types. I'm going to explain that here. So I'm going to come down here, and you'll see there's a little tab. Now, every time there's a block to add content to it, you'll see there's a little tab that appears when you mouse over it. And that's how you add additional blocks to a page. So on this main tab, I'm going to click this. I'm going to click Add Block. And as I mentioned before, there's different block types. So the one that we've been playing with to this point is the content block. So I'm going to click on that. And if I wanted to, I could add an additional block with more text in it. Click Save. And then I'm going to add other types of blocks in this page. So I'm going to click the main again. I'm going to click Add Block. So there's other block types. There's image blocks, which you can add images to a content block, but with the image block, you can do additional things such as hover effects. And also you get a little bit more control over the layout. With content blocks, it tends to add a paragraph tag around the images, so there's a little additional space, but with the image block, it doesn't do that. You can add horizontal rule lines. I'm going to highlight just a few of the things here. One that's kind of nice sometimes to use is a page list block. So let's say I wanted to add a list of different pages that are underneath a given page. So I wanted to create a series of links for pages that are on the website. So in here, I can come in here. I can say beneath another page. I'm going to choose a page. Our little sitemap's going to appear here again. And let's do, that list is going to be kind of long, but we'll do it for demonstration purposes. We're going to choose the products page. I can change the sort order. I can add a little RSS feed link to it, and so forth. I can add thumbnail images. You have to create a little thumbnail to do that, and then add the images. And if I want, I can add a little title. Let's say, view our products. And click Add. Now what it's done here, I'm going to exit edit mode and publish this. And so every page that's underneath the products page, it's automatically created a list of links to those pages. So if I had a page on the website and I wanted to have like maybe a sidebar that had a list of links, or at the bottom of each page I wanted to list out all the different products that are available on the site, I can do that. And as I add additional pages to the website, those links will automatically appear on the page. I'm going to come back here into edit mode and delete this block. Deleting blocks, super easy. Just click on it, click delete. It asks me, are you sure you really want to delete this? Yeah, it's gone. So we're going to add another block here. One of the other block types that we use pretty frequently on different sites is a forms block. There's actually two different form blocks, so I'm going to click in this little search box and you see it automatically brings it up. There's this form which is the new form, and it's sometimes referred to as the express form. It's the more modern one, and most of the time that's what you want to use. The legacy form also works. It was used on previous versions of Concrete5, and there's some changes in this new one, and so it's really here to support older versions of Concrete5. So we're going to use this express type of form. And what we can do here is really easily create a contact form without any programming knowledge. And it's not only going to create the form for us, but it's also going to generate an email to us if we so choose. And it will also save the information captured in the form to the database, and we can view that in the dashboard. And I'll show you that all here. So I'm going to click New Form. There's a series of different field types that you can use. So for this first form field, I'm going to have a text field. That's probably the one that you're going to most often use. For the question, I'm going to ask people for their name. You can make the field required. In this case, yeah, I want to make sure people type in their name. So I'm going to click Add Question. And here's one thing that often is done wrong. Is there's this add button that's down here, but as we add additional field here, so I'm going to add another field. Actually, let's make this field an email address field. So what it's going to do is it's going to look at what the users typed into this field and make sure it actually looks like an email address. So it has an @ symbol and a .com or .net, and it's going to validate that form field entry to make sure what they typed in actually looks like an email address. So we'll name this question email. We'll make it required also. And I'm going to click Add Question. So don't click Add here until you're all done. You got to make sure you click this Add Question. Then I'm going to ask users for their comments. And so for this, I'm going to add a text area. We'll call this questions/comments. You can do plain text or rich text. Plain text basically means it's just a box. Rich text has some little buttons so that they can make things bold and things like that. Typically, it's going to be plain text. And then I'm going to click Add Question. Now, when I get to this point, I'm going to come over here to Options. And here I can add a CAPTCHA. If you don't know what a CAPTCHA is, you've probably ran into them, and they're a little bit irritating. They're basically those little images or buttons that you have to click at the very bottom of a form, where you actually have to type in like the numbers or letters that you see in order to submit the form. The reason a CAPTCHA is handy is sometimes there's what's called spam bots that come along, and they just look for forms on websites, and when they find them, they just start auto-submitting stuff. It's a lot of times the advertisement or just a bunch of gibberish junk. And those can be really irritating as you start getting like 20 emails a day from the spam bot of a bunch of gibberish and junk. Now, the downside of CAPTCHAs is they're not very user-friendly. They can be sometimes very difficult to read the letters or numbers, or you have to do the extra step to click the little button. And that can be irritating to users, so they may just give up and not even fill out the form. So my recommendation is don't put on a CAPTCHA unless you're getting beat up by spam bots. If you're getting an email a day that's just kind of junk, deal with it. It's probably better than having customers or clients bouncing off the website and not filling out forms. At the end of the form submission, after the user is successfully submitted, they can put in or you can display a message to that user. And so I'm going to put a little message. Thanks for contacting us. We'll be in contact soon. Now at this point, you can either have this little thank you message, or you can send the user to a different page. So you might create a thank you page, and on that page, put the little thanks for contacting us. We'll be in contact soon. In this case, we're not going to do that. It's just going to display it right on the page. Now here we can put an email address or email addresses that we want the form submissions to go to. So we're going to just put in my email address. You can also set the reply to email address. So when you get the email notification, you can just hit, because I used an email field and the user is going to be typing in their email address, I can choose if when I hit reply to the email that I received to have the reply to email address be whatever they typed in. So that, if I get an email, I can simply just hit reply and it's going to automatically use that user's email address that they've entered for this submission. So we'll come down here. Looks like we've got everything we need here. If I ever wanted to make edits, I can move around these form fields and change them around. I can edit them or I can delete them through this edit tab. Once I've got everything I need here, I'm going to click add. And it's going to add that form block to the page. I'm going to publish it so we can play around with it. Now when we get down here to the bottom of the page, we've got our little form. It's got those fields that I set as required, so I can type in my information. And let's see, I'd like to do business with you. Visit me at sewing.com. I'm going to click submit. Now what's going to happen here is that little thank you message that we've put in to the page is going to appear to the user. So thanks for contacting us. We'll be in contact soon. Now what's happened behind the scenes is I just received an email for that form submission. And then in the area here called the dashboard, if I click on that, I can go to a section called reports. And and for all the different forms that are on this website, we can view the form submissions that came off this form. Now in the section called Express, we're not going to go over this. You can actually capture information using Express. So if someone fills out the form, that goes in the database, and then with Express, I can actually add places where that information might be displayed on the website. So let's say I was creating a directory and I wanted to have a directory of different business locations that are submitted to me. I can use Express to create objects and then add those to different pages on the website. So that's a nice new tool in Concrete5. Let's go back to the About Us page here. I'm going to just show briefly a couple of other little blocks. I'm going to go back into edit mode on this page. I'm going to add another block. In this case, I'm going to add the YouTube block. Now with the YouTube block, I can do some fun things. I'm going to open a new tab here. I'm going to go to YouTube. And I'm going to find a video. It can be a video that I've uploaded, or it can be a video that anybody else has put into YouTube. So here's a series of different videos and such. Here's our original full Concrete5 training video. And I'm like, oh yeah, this is a great video. So I'm going to copy this URL, come back to the website here, and all I have to do to add a video to the website is simply add that URL to the block. In the settings, there's different things I can do. Show video information, show controls, a series of different options that we can play with here. So I'm just going to add this block. Now you'll see in edit mode it doesn't display yet. If I publish it, it's going to have this great video on the page embedded right into the page. So again, you can really easily, with Concrete5, grab your iPhone, grab your Android device, whatever you've got, shoot some video, upload it to your YouTube account, grab the URL, and embed right into your page a nice interactive piece on the website. Users love videos, so really easy to add videos and other interactive information on the website. I'm going to show one last I'll show you some other things you can do. A lot of times on a contact page or on other appropriate pages, we may want to add things like a Google map. There's a Google map, so you can embed a Google map with your address, and it'll have a little marker on it right into the page. So great thing to have on that. Lots of great things in Concrete5. On this particular website, we'll exit out of here. We've created, and this isn't available in the Concrete5 marketplace. In the Concrete5 marketplace, however, there's a lot of different add-ons, as they're called, which are basically plugins that add additional functionality to your website. So different types of slideshows and photo galleries, and the list goes on. Whatever you can think of, there's tons of things that are available in there. One that isn't available in the marketplace, but we have, is e-commerce. So contact us at pixoinc.com if you're interested in e-commerce on your website. So we can add great e-commerce type of functionality. It's an add-on, and it can be customized in a whole bunch of different ways. So a person can come in here and add stuff to their cart. They can do a full checkout. So your regular type of e-commerce, I can come in here and I can view all the different things that we've added to the cart. Great functionality that you can add really quickly and easy and inexpensively. That's one of the nice things about Concrete5, is it can be modified very easily. If you want to change the theme or the look of your website, quick and easy to do. There's themes that can be purchased, but you can also do custom themes. So your website can look any way you want it to look with Concrete5. Search engine optimization. There's great tools and built into Concrete5 to do that. There's things that we can also do for you that will even super enhance outside of what Concrete5 can do. This little intelligent search box, as it's called, allows you to find things that are in the dashboard. So let's say I wanted to do use the bulk SEO updater. In the bulk SEO updater, I can view all the different pages, add all the different meta tags and things that Google looks for search engine optimization purposes. Again, super easy to do. In this dashboard, there's different things that we've already looked at here, and that you get to that by clicking this dashboard button. So I can go to the sitemap. We've looked at this before. So here's all the different pages that are on the website. I can manipulate these pages. So for example, let's say rotisserie, I wanted to change the name of. I could simply click on it, click on attributes, and let's say the rotisserie, we wanted to just simply call it coffee. Change that. Now watch what happens here. So not only is this page now called coffee, but you'll see this also changed to coffee. So our top menu here is dynamic. It's called the auto nav in Concrete5. So I can add pages to the website, have them automatically show up in this top menu. If I want, I can change how many pages are shown in this top menu. So I can have drop-down menus that appear. So sub pages show on it. On this particular website, that's turned off. But really easy to add pages and manipulate them. So I'm going to come back in here in the sitemap. Now you'll notice right now the coffee page is the second page in the sitemap. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to what, I really want the restaurant page to be before the coffee page in the sitemap. Watch how easy this is. I just hold down my mouse button, drag it to where I want it to go. Now when I come back to the website, restaurant is now before coffee in the menu. So super easy stuff. If I decide that's not the way I want it to be, I want to change everything back, Easy to do. We just drag it to wherever we want it to go. We can change the URLs of pages. Oop, clicked on the wrong thing there. Let me go back. So if I click on location, so we see that that page is currently rotisserie. If we want, we can change the URL here. Excluding page from the menu. So for example, let's say I said, I don't really want this coffee page to be in my top menu. So what I can do is I can come back here into attributes, and if I scroll down a little bit, you'll see there's a series of different attributes that are available. One of them is called exclude from nav. So if I click that, it's going to add it over here on the right hand side. And if I click or check the checkbox, exclude page from navigation, and click save changes, and I come back to the website, you'll see coffee's no longer there. So really easy to add pages to the website, add them to the menu, put them in the menu where you want them to be, or just decide, I don't really need that page in the menu. In this case, I'm going to exclude it simply by checking it, and that puts it back into the menu. Pages to Concrete5 is really easy. So I can come in here to my sitemap, and I can click on home because I want to add this new page underneath the home page. I'm going to click add page. Now at this point it's asking me what page type do I want to use. In this case, there's two different page types that we've had. The product page is like a product detail pages for e-commerce. In this case, I want to just use the more commonly used page type. And at this point, it's going to ask me for a page name. So I'm going to call it test page. The description on most Concrete5 websites isn't used, but sometimes it is. Sometimes it'll pull information from the description. So you can add that if your site uses it. The URL slug would be the URL of this given page. So let's say the domain name for this website was 5riverscoffee.com. That means this new page's URL would be 5riverscoffee.com/test-page. The page template, any number of page templates can be created for a Concrete5 website. And so this particular site has three different ones. There's a right sidebar, a home, and a full. Full in this case is the full width of the content area. The content goes all the way across it. Home would be, we looked at the home page just briefly and we can look at it again, but there's a slideshow at the top, and underneath it there's three different boxes. So a series of different layouts for it. Right sidebar would be a main content area that's like 2/3 of the page, and then 1/3 of the page to the right hand side would be a different column that content can be added to. So in that case, the right sidebar might be used to add some additional navigation, announcements, and so forth. So you can have a whole bunch of different page templates for your website for the different layouts that you need to use, and then you just simply choose the one you want to use. And you can switch the page templates at any time. So you may initially set it up as a full width, and then 3 months later you need to make an announcement on that page, or you want to add a contact form to the right sidebar. You simply go in and just change the page template, and immediately the layout changes. So in this case, we're going to do a full. The page location would be the page that the new page is going to go under. So in this case, our new page will go underneath the home page. So at this point, if I wanted to, I can add content right here into this content box. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to show you something real quick. So I'm going to click Publish Page. So literally, we can create new pages in just seconds. So we can come over here to this new test page that we just created, click on it, click Visit, and voila, we've got a brand new empty page. Now you'll see we've got an empty block here, and we can click on that, click Add Block, and like we did before, we can add a content block or any other block type to the page. Typically on the top of a new page, we're going to add a title, and so we'll call this test page. Highlight this, choose heading 1, add some text to it, click save, and voila. Just takes seconds to create new pages in Concrete5. Once we're all done, we can publish it. Now you'll notice here in the top menu, it automatically added that page. Didn't have to do anything for the menu, it just takes care of it for me, and we can go to that page and users can now navigate to our new page. If we want to delete pages, really easy to do, pretty intuitive. If I come back into the sitemap here, you can also do it on the page. We can choose delete. It says, are you sure you want to delete this? Yep. Just that easy to add pages, delete pages, and so forth. Over here in the dashboard, I'll point out some different things. We looked at the sitemap. The full sitemap is what we're on right here. Page search page. If you have a large website and you're looking for something specific, it becomes really handy to find different pages. So let's say I wanted to find the Brazil page. I can quickly and easily do it. You can also search by different page templates and so forth. Files. Again, we've looked at this before. This is our file manager. If we need to add new images to the file manager, we simply click upload files. Now, if I wanted to, I can either just drag and drop from my computer the file that we want to upload, or I just click down here in the block. At this point, we can find the image that we want to upload. So you'll see it's uploading that. And then once it's all done, I can close it. And now that new image is available, and I could add that image to any page of the website. If I want to delete images, really easy. In this case, there's one little trick, and it's actually changed from previous versions of Concrete5. Rather than left click, it's a right click if you're on a PC. And then you just simply choose delete if you wanted to get rid of it. And you can actually, using these different tools, upload multiple images. So let's say you had 12 different photos that you wanted to add to a photo gallery. Real easy to upload. You just choose them all or drag and drop to the box to add all the images there. The members section in Concrete5, you can have multiple people have their own logins, and you can manage those different users. So let's say you had a marketing team and a developers team, and you wanted each team or each individual to have their own logins, you can do that. And remember when we did the publishing of pages and we could go back and view the versions of the pages? Well, it'll put who published a given page. So, if you needed to go and see who made a particular change because you needed to talk to them about something, it's a great tool to manage. You can even go beyond that. You can create workflows in Concrete5 where you can have approvals that have to take place with different users. You can add users to different groups, and those groups have different permissions. So let's say you had a group, you wanted to be able to edit one set of pages, but they couldn't edit other pages on the site. You simply create that group, apply permissions to that group, and then you add users to that group who you want to inherit different privileges. Attributes and so forth can all be added to members as well. We mentioned Express. That's not something we're going to go over in detail in this video, but you can go in and add data to the website via forms and other things, and then simply, and without any programming knowledge, display that data on the pages. Reports, we went over briefly earlier, and here's a list of the different forms that are created on the website, and we can view the submissions to those forms. And we can even download via a CSV file or an Excel file of those submissions. So let's say I created a lead form on the website. I can then go in and export out all those leads, and I can send off a spreadsheet to my sales team to be able to follow up on those leads. Pages and themes I mentioned before. You can create different themes. So here's the theme that's on this website, the Five Rivers theme. If I wanted to, I could literally click this activate button and switch the theme to this elemental theme, and the entire website would be updated in a matter of seconds. Some of the other things that are interesting here in the dashboard, stacks. Stacks are a way that you can create a block that you put content into, and then once you add, actually it can be more than just content, it could be any type of block, and you can have multiple blocks in a stack. And then once you've created that stack, you can go to any page of the website and add the stack. The nice thing about a stack is, well, let's say I added that stack to 5 different pages of the website. If I come back into the stacks area, I can go in and make a change, and all 5 pages will instantly inherit those changes. So a stack is kind of a reusable block area that you can add multiple things into and update in just one place. We mentioned with Concrete5, there's the ability to add add-ons. So this website has 3 different add-ons that are installed. You can add photo galleries, you can add integrations with content or CRM systems, so forth. Really, with Concrete5, you can extend it any way you want and make it do what you want, which is great. So, and then down here, if I wanted to log out of Concrete5, so for security purposes, the next time I came back to the website, I wasn't still logged in, I can log out down here. So that ends this tutorial of Concrete5. If you'd like to learn about additional things such as e-commerce or how to do specific things that you need your website to do, let us know. We can do anything you want with Concrete5. And if you have additional questions on things that you want to do that we didn't cover in this video, because there is a whole lot of stuff in Concrete5 that we didn't cover. This covers the basics though. And I think you'll find that Concrete5 is the best content management system you ever use. If you need to get a hold of us, give us a call at 720-334-7496 or visit us online at pixoinc.com. That's PIXOINC.com, PIXOINC.com.